And you mentioned that you have a homestead. Is that the same thing as having a farm, or are those two different vocabulary words there?
Well, that's a good question, Chris. You see the word homestead used a lot anymore. You see it tagged onto a lot of different things. Some of that might even just be marketing that people are doing. But a homestead, to me, I suppose, is more of a self-sustaining unit. Whereas with a homestead, we may take items to a market to sell, but selling items at a market isn't our top priority. Our top priority may be trying to be a little bit more sufficient, self-sufficient in the things that we do here, a little more self-contained, where we are trying to build a home here, less dependent on the woes of the economy around us, if that makes sense.
And when did you start your homestead, or is that something that you need to designate to, the governing bodies of the state, or do you just say, "Hey, we have a homestead now"?
Well, so we purchased this place in 2013 and kind of set up shop doing what we're doing here the following year. I think we moved in here like in October, and then by the next spring we kind of, hit the ground running with the things that we were doing here. Whether or not there's like a regulatory body, if you have to, I don't know if I'm aware of a licensing to be a homesteader or whatever it might be. I don't necessarily subscribe to those necessities. So it's not something that I could probably get into the details with because that's a great question that I don't know the answer to.
Oh no, no worries at all. And I forget earlier, in the interview, I forget if you mentioned how big your homestead is, like as far as acreage.
Our property here is just shy of 3.5 acres. And we're on a dead end dirt road. And across the street from us is 1,100 acres of state land, which is just really nice to have. It's peaceful and it's quiet. And it's really a blessing, to have something like that, to be able to have that abundance of nature right outside of our door is a really, really cool thing.
Compared to some of the other places surrounding you, is that bigger or smaller compared to the other homestead or farms around you?
Well, I think there's homesteads of all sizes. Everybody's, got something different going on. I've seen some incredible setups on significantly smaller pieces of property, just some amazing situations. And then of course there's folks, I think the guy just right to the west of me, I think he's got 30, 40 acres over there, So it's all different sizes and shapes. And that's kind of the beauty of homesteading, I guess you could call it, or the beauty of just even gardening or trying to do it yourself or whatever lingo we want to use, is that it's scalable for every model. Like every person, regardless of the space that you have, has the opportunity to try to grow something for themselves, to produce their own, and we could say maybe be a part of the solution.
Well, and how much do you grow on your homestead, or what kinds of plants, fruits, vegetables, crops, etc., are you growing on it?
We grow a lot of stuff here, Chris. It gets pretty hectic, for sure. We grow all of your classics, fruits and vegetables that you have on a farm, tomatoes and peppers and cabbages and all that kind of stuff. A lot of what we do here, though, is seed production. We grow a lot of seed. So the seed is for historical preservation. Some of it's for wholesale to seed companies. We also have a retail seed company online, at smallhousefarm.com, where we sell the seeds that we produce. So that's a big part of what we do here is growing seed. So that makes it a little busy sometimes. Seeds kind of tend to come in all at the same time sometimes, and it can get pretty hectic even in the small scale that we're working in. And we also grow quite a bit of herbs. So one of the things when we started Small House Farm, kind of the cornerstone of our business was cold pressing seed and nut oil, which is, kind of out in left field, I suppose. I haven't met a lot of people doing it. And so we were cold pressing these seed and nut oils and then taking the oils and herbs that we would grow here at the farm or gather from the wild. We do a lot of foraging and we kind of would combine these things and crafted a full line of herbal health and wellness products. And we used to, in the early days, peddle those at farmers markets. That was a big part of what we did. And then in March of 2020, something happened where we weren't able to do that anymore. And so we kind of had to pivot our business and we moved that also into an online store, just like we do with our seeds, and it's been very successful for us. So we've continued to do that, even though now, farmers markets are back up and running and doing great. We don't vend at them. I still shop at all of them every opportunity I have, but we don't really vend at them anymore. Like I said, everything's online now. But I guess to answer your question, we also grow a lot of herbs, along with the fruits and vegetables here at Small House.
Now, when I hear you say you like growing seeds, to me, I always just think, oh, seeds are you have an apple tree and there's seeds in the apple. So this you have seeds from the apples that you grow, but you are specifically cultivating or producing seeds.
Yes. And much like with, I suppose, your apple analogy, a lot of the seeds that we grow are encased in fruits that we want to consume, right? So we'll grow tomatoes, and ultimately my final goal is to harvest those tomato seeds uh, for retail. But in order to do so, I also have to harvest and eat those tomatoes. What a bummer, right? So a lot of the produce, it's food for us as well as seed production. Um, and other crops, we'd say maybe like lettuce, those types of things that as a consumable produce, we eat the lettuce well before it's even flowered, let alone make seed. So in situations like that, sometimes we have to sacrifice eating the lettuce in order to give it time to produce seed, so we've got the seed to grow. So some things we're growing to eat and get seed, something we're growing just for the seed.